Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. In this episode, we are going to paint some persimmons with acrylic paints. So let's get started, and you can get a free link to the sketch below as well as the paint colors that I'm using and the brushes that I'm going to be using. And let's start off with a flat brush. So I'm going to take a size 3 flat brush, and I want to sort of put in the highlights. I want to map out the lightest kind of yellow color before I get started, kind of as an underpainting, so we'll add quite a bit of water to that. And I just want to do this so that I don't lose that highlight and that I don't get too much shadow into the painting. Okay, so now let's mix a dark shadow color. So to do that, I'm going to take some of this gray paint. It's kind of a purpley gray. I'm going to mix that with some orange paint to try to get a nice shadow. Also going to spray the paint. This has a little bit of drying retarder in it, and that's going to help my paint to flow a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to start off by putting this as a shadow color. I'm adding quite a bit of that purple. Okay, and then I want to transition lighter. So let's grab a little bit of white paint, start mixing that in. I'm going to take straight orange. I'm using the flat brush so I can get some kind of painterly strokes here. And then let's start mixing the yellow into the orange. Okay, I'm going to rinse off the brush, and let's take some white paint and add some yellow to it. Get a nice sort of peach color. Start putting that in. Try to go around the leaves. I'm going to grab a little bit more white and start transitioning towards that bright highlight in the center. Okay, so then I'm going to pick up another brush. Let's pick up a size 6 filbert, and I'm going to put some of this darker shadow color in here. And let's go back up around this edge. Okay. Just smooth out this edge a little bit. Okay, so now let's work on this side. So there's a little bit of shadow underneath here. And then we can add the orange. And sort of working wet and wet, we're trying to blend those colors together. And then we can get lighter. So I'll take some yellow with the white. Be more yellow. Okay, and start blending that. Okay, I'm going to take some white and try to go over some of that yellow highlight in the center. Okay, and then I'm going to switch back to the other brush, the darker brush, and then we'll come around this area to put in some more shadow. Okay, so sometimes it's easier to use two brushes to switch between your lights and your darks, so that you don't have to go back and sort of rinse one brush off and then go back to the other one. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Now let's work on the other persimmon. So we'll do the same thing. I'm going to keep using the two brushes. And let's put the yellow in as sort of an underpainting. in the places where we want to have a bright highlight and a bright color. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the shadow color. So we have that purple mixed with the orange. And I'm going to start putting that in around this edge. Also along the bottom, let's pick up a little bit of this burnt umber and add that as just to give a little more contrast. Okay, shadow up here. All right, now let's rinse that brush and we can add some orange mixed with a little bit of the white. And let's start transitioning that color. So we're blending the colors together. Okay, I want to get more intense with some bright orange. Okay, and then let's add some yellow in there. A little bit more yellow. Okay, I'm trying to go around the edge here, so I use sort of the edge of my brush to go around the leaf in the center. Okay, so fill that in. Try to get some smooth edges. And then let's take some white. Let's actually switch brushes. So I'll take some yellow and a little bit of white paint. And then see if I can kind of blend in those yellow highlights that we put in. And I could take some straight white and put that in sort of as a more exaggerated highlight. Okay, I might go back and put that into this one as well. Some straight white. Okay, so now we can start working on the stem area, the center. So to do that, let's use a size 0 round brush. And let's take some burnt umber. I'm going to put a little stem here in the center and then start coming around this edge, sort of doing a little bit of outlining, just defining some of that stem and these leaves, the edge of the leaves rather. And we can do that same thing on this side. Just sort of outline some of that area. Okay, so now let's take some of this green color. This is kind of a really yellowish green. I'm going to start putting some of that in around the edges. And it can sort of blend a little bit with some of this wet color that's in there. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up some of this burnt sienna. And I want to add that into some of the leaf areas as well, just to get a variation of color. It can be sort of a warm shadow as well. Okay, and now let's pick up, actually let's put that brown in the center of the stem. Now let's pick up this minty green color. That's a nice cool color. And let's start blending that in there. I'm working wet and wet, letting the colors blend together. Okay, I'll Do that to this side. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this burnt sienna, come back in and add a little bit of shadow into that green that we just put in. Okay, I want to go around as well and try to cover up any whites of the paper. Just clean up some edges. Make sure all the white of the paper is covered up. Okay, and then I might come back with a little bit of white with some yellow and try to put that in. See if we can add that as a highlight into some of these leaves. Okay. And then we might put that as a highlight at the top of the stem as well. Okay, and I think we will call this painting complete. Thank you so much for painting along with me. Please like and subscribe for more painting tutorials, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!